Helldivers got review bombed again. Is this now the third time or the fourth time this has happened already? Anyway, I wonder what was the reason this time. Is it because the devs hate the player base and called them Nazis again? Or is it some kind of super no one likes this type of update because one gun did 5 extra damage when the devs didn't want it, so everything got nerfed and everything's bad once again? I wonder which.
Helldivers has gone from we are so back to we are so dropping the review bomb part 2. But this time, it isn't on Sony. Now, on an average day, Helldivers 2 sees about 50 negative reviews. That's 50 on Steam. But yesterday alone, that number spiked to nearly 3,000. What caused this sudden influx of pissed off reviews and
Wow.
comments, and why did it happen? Well, that's what we're going to be taking a quick look at today. Thanks again for your awesome and
Bro, I love the fact that Super Earth is burning and it's like, "Oh no, this is how many votes we just lost." That's kind of funny.
Thanks again for your awesome and continued support for my Helldivers content. In case you want to help support the channel, please hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my future upload alerts. Also, very important step here, set those notifications to receive all, or YouTube will only occasionally send them to your inbox and you could miss out on something important, just like today's upload. So, with that all out of the way, let's drop into the latest with Helldivers.
Yeah,
This would
skipping.
be the breaking news within Helldivers 2, but the president of Super Earth was killed in action versus the Illuminate. Here's what the dispatch says. The president of Super Earth has been killed in action by the Illuminate during the siege of Prosperity City. The president died heroically defending the presidential security bunker with only a pistol against waves of Illuminate foes. Presidential authority has been placed in the Minister of Defense.
He probably also took out like 99% of them. The propaganda about this game is no hilarious. And I love how the developers constantly are saying, "Ah, man, our game is just creating Nazis." I mean, how is it my fault it's so appealing?
I'm definitely leaning on you all to leave me some feedback on this one because it almost feels like Super Earth was always under control of the ruling elite, aka the ministries, and the president was more of a position of status, not authority, but there it is nonetheless. My question is, was this orchestrated and what really happened? Drop a comment and let's see what you think. But of course, now we need to move over to the review bomb part 2. And to be perfectly honest with you, this review bomb is but a fraction of what Sony went through in terms of the sheer volume of negative reviews when they uncorked that draconian PSN PC requirement out of the blue and absolutely threw Helldivers into a just chaotic state. So let's dive into this. What has caused this? Well, it's completely
Well, what has caused this is people being smart and living by the obvious mantra of forgive but never forget. And not always forgive.
centered around equality on sea, which, if you take a look at the Super Earth map, that translates to Beijing in China. And this is completely focused in on the Chinese Helldivers, and basically they got some inaccurate information based on a translation within game, and it seriously torqued them. To try to get the gist of this story as accurate as I possibly can, I'm going to next turn to a Helldivers Reddit post, and I will, of course, include a link to this down in the video description. The title of this one says, Situation Explained and Analysis Regarding to the Current Chinese Community Drama on EOS, or Equality on Sea, and Review Bombing. Now, I read this through a few times, and I can't tell if this was sent through like Google Translate or if this person is Chinese and they're trying to translate for themselves into English. So the wording's just a little bit off, but you're going to get the main point here in just a moment. Here's what it says. As a level 150 Chinese Helldiver veteran who plays both the first and second games of Helldivers, I would like to explain the current ongoing drama and situation to the English-speaking communities to let you understand about what is happening in the Chinese communities at the moment and why did this turn into somewhat of a controversy. They go on to say, please keep the post civil, and I do not want to see people trying to claw out each other's faces here. Firstly, the situation regarding the EOS defense campaign. And here's some artwork for you up on screen. Take a look at this as I read through it. It has drawn a lot of attention in the Chinese gaming communities and even outside of the gaming community due to the passions of the Chinese Helldivers, who are now proudly fighting side by side with Helldivers coming from everywhere, including the US and European countries, despite IRL political differences. However, as the campaign has drawn in a lot of attention, there are some influx of new players who did not fully understand about the game, who only care about defending the EOS till the final victories. Remember, these are Chinese Helldivers defending their capital of Beijing. Such excitement did not go well when they found out that the EOS can't be completely retaken, as it is a defense campaign to finish off the Illuminate invasion fleet. And I'm going to expand on that in just a little bit. They continue on. Add on to that, the Chinese translation of the game of the defense percentage makes it seem like that city can be completely taken back from the invasion, which are certainly not helping. Not to mention the communication barrier between communities on the internet. Well, if you know the reason. So a lot of rumors are floating around and began to brew inside the Chinese community. Here's where it kind of starts, which makes many think that this entire thing is Arrowhead trying to make every global city fall, including York Supreme. Many Chinese divers are pretty upset about its falling and are suggesting to rename the DSS as DSS York Supreme or DSS Yorktown. On the side note, except PC, which is Arrowhead's own hometown. Okay. With all those things brewing and then turn into a huge controversy, many voices in the Chinese community turned against Arrowhead as a company on the basis because they cannot clearly see how did their hard work not pay off without a clear feedback or indication. And as the communication from Arrowhead is not exactly clear about the final result, the current popular saying is that Joel is trying to force the player base to have a brilliant last stand in the PC instead of respecting the player's hardworking efforts and choices on the EOS, which leads to the review bombing. Whether it is true or not, that is what is going on. And mind you, it has only been a day since this happened, so we might see more of such things in the next few days unless there are a clear explanation coming out to address those things. The Chinese Helldiver community is just as every other player's community with all different kinds of players. I am posting this because I am tired of seeing the Reddit turning into a wave of hatred against the Chinese Helldivers community in general. Feel free to ask questions, and I will answer them if I have time. So, there's the explanation from Valkyrie Yukikaze. I believe that's the Reddit name, and I will, of course, again...
Yeah, this probably sounds strange to everyone, which is true. It definitely is strange, but you kind of need to understand this is China that we're talking about. Chinese culture is very different. Okay? Arrowhead should literally give them 2 packs of cigarettes each and bribe them into putting positive reviews, and that kind of solves every issue in China. Need a car license? 2 packs of cigarettes. Your car is a literal nuclear radiation site that's gonna explode and kill half the world. Carton of cigarettes, and you have past safety regulations. Okay, there are some notable differences, shall we say, about the situation in China from the rest of the world that people are not aware of. Okay, I'm so not sure, honestly, what people think about China. Considering I go on Twitter and I see fucking China propaganda constantly. I watch an episode of Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's like, China's technology is like light years in the future from ours. That's bullshit. China's technology is stagnant trash. Everything China has technology-wise is just stolen from someone, okay? This is how China has acquired all of its technology in the last, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years, honestly, at this point. It's like this. Someone in the West makes something good, and China's like, hey, come here, make it with us. We will make it for you almost cheap and free. And they do it. And then China 1 year later is like, yeah, we're stealing your shit and you can go away now. And they're like, oh, and then they ask the next one to come. This is how China acquires their stuff. You know the advances in AI China has, the Seek Blue Seek, or whatever it's called, that one? That's just ChatGPT stolen effectively. And pretty much all of they have is like that. They do have some advances because of lax regulation. For example, in well, if you watch Joe Rogan, you know it's in drones, which no one gives a shit about, honestly. And it's in using gunner oil for cooking because, I mean, what's the last statistic about gunner oil in China? Let me actually Google it. Maybe we can find uh gutter oil usage in China. Gutter oil. How common is gutter oil in China? Okay, let's see what this says. I'm gonna share screen. There we go. A study, too. This is citing sources from something, indicates that about 2 or 3 million tons of edible oil containing cancer triggering substances are produced and are used in restaurants every year in China. And approximately one tenth of the meals consumed in Chinese could be cooked with gutter oil. This is actually better than I expected. I thought that the rate was 30%. But how much edible oil does China consume? Million tons. Uh, Gutter oil, Vicky, soybean oil. Who? Well, in any case, it's a literal huge industry, gutter oil. And the problem with gutter oil is not honestly the fact that it causes cancer. That's like a minor thing. It's the fact that it fucks your DNA. Yeah, that's what all of these things do. That's, by the way, why cancer happens. Typically, it's fuck DNA. And well, imagine one in 10 meals you eat in China is probably with gutter oil. China's not gonna exist in 30 years because their population is gonna be literally deformed freaks. Being even nice here. And by the way, US, you're not far off, okay? What's your statistics currently? Like, you're flipping a coin in 20 years to see if your child's gonna be retarded or dying from cancer at the ripe old age of 3? Yeah, not looking good. I mean, um, Jonathan Kennedy Jr., JFK. No, what was his name? That guy. He's awesome. He's like doing a lot of things that are good, but I'm not gonna lie. He's not doing it fast enough. It's not happening fast enough. Listen, you literally just removed the lead paint from your children's candy. I mean, the first step has been taken, but does it even matter at this point? I honestly don't know. Okay, too many regulations is pretty bad and really annoying. But Europe's not dying from that, unlike China and America. But again, America, you have a chance. China's fucked. There's no chance. So yeah, the situation with what people perceive of China, I really wonder how that's going, because I don't know. I don't know what people really are thinking about China. Leave in the comments, what do you think about China? Is it the ecomonopolis of human innovation, or is it or a giant shit stain?
Include this link down in the video description. So let's actually dive into what Valkyrie Yukikaze actually just said and try to assimilate some context to it in the process. First off, you've got the location. Equality on Sea is Beijing, so there's a great deal of pride having to do with this specific city and location. Second, you've got what looks like a mistranslation in Chinese showing players an achievable defense success, even though the current major order is a battle of attrition as we all attempt to deplete the Illuminate fleet, because there is no success until that is accomplished first. The Chinese divers were receiving all sorts of support from around the world with EOS until they maxed out at 99.9783%, which is why you see it posted in a ton of their negative Steam reviews. And inside of that, echo chamber within their community. It was discussed that this inability to hit 100% was down to Joel, who wants the ultimate battle to decide the fate of Super Earth to be held in PC, which, by the way, is Prosperity City. The location.
Wait. It's kind of laughable that there's going to be like a decisive thing to decide the victory of who the Super Earth fall or not, because every time anything has mattered in Helldivers, the milestone gets hit in like literally a couple of hours. But it's something actually that meaningful and big.
For PC is Stockholm, Sweden, the home of Arrowhead Studios. Wow, man. Talk about the perfect storm here. That probably began as a localization error sometime in development, but has steamrolled into an all-out brawl between a cross-section of the player base and who they see as the creator of this issue, Joel and Arrowhead. There's a great deal of hurt pride interwoven into this issue as well, along with doubts as to the validity of the galactic war itself. I mean, you're talking about the very fabric, the core of Helldivers 2. In turn, the Chinese divers took to the only site where they can get attention and do so quickly, the Steam review section, which we know has been proven to be highly effective. Just ask Sony how that one went.
True.
I mean, I have some ideas on how to fix this, but Arrowhead has more than just players right now that are not happy with the.
To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I think to a degree this is kind of fine, but to a degree this is a real big issue that we're gonna most likely encounter more and more in gaming. And that is the fact that the Steam reviews do hold a lot of power over if a game is gonna be bought by other people who don't know anything about it. If I want to buy a game and I know nothing about it, and there are many people who don't know what Helldivers even is, well, you look at the reviews, and if the reviews are 60 or 60%, I'm noping out, boys. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely noping out pretty hard. Or at least, like, super contemplating it. And I'm not going to read the reviews in a lot of cases. I'm just going to look at, oh, that's bad. Because typically review bombing doesn't really happen. Review bombing for no reason is not real. And this, it's kind of arguable, is this a reason why is this a good enough reason for review bombing? So, how does that work? I don't honestly know. I really don't know if this is good enough. Because if people do this to a lot of games are going to suffer and die. Like, this is the power that we should, as the players, hold over the game. But, I mean, should we use it for situations like this? Because the fact that you can't defend a place is that enough to actually review bomb the game and make other people not play it, not buy it, not do whatever with it? Oof, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. I think there should be some limitations on how you review these things. Or I think it's at the bare minimum, honestly, Steam should you know how Steam can actually fix this? It's not even a hard fix. It should show that, oh, only 60% of people are happy with the review, and it shouldn't show like, oh, 60% in general, and then all the new reviews are bad or good or whatever. I think it also should show, oh, there have been 3 situations where just a massive amount of dislikes have been dropped instantaneously. So people know that, oh, the devs probably did something really, really bad that pissed off the player base, but maybe now it's fixed and it's not a problem. Otherwise, we're going to lose a bunch of games that are actually, good.
The game's performance, they have players and a large cross-section of their player base where they have seen their civic pride and belief in an achievable victory pulled from beneath them. Where and how does Arrowhead try to build this bridge back to the Chinese players? I mean, I honestly don't know. I mean,
True. I mean, they're just going to let them defend it, and that's it. That's how you do it. It's that easy. Anyway, that was Layton and Buzz Lightyear. 10 out of 10. Bye.